The Yale Warehouse Simulator software is a piece of software that we've had developed to enable us to consult with our clients and end users on the best way of optimizing the use of our trucks inside a warehouse environment. Nothing's really static now, so business is always evolving, it's always changing. Even us as consumers, we go onto the internet, we buy things, and we have an expectation that we want next day delivery, we want a broader, wider selection of goods. And that's really a change that's happened quite recently. That has a knock-on effect to how you should arrange and organize your warehousing and your distribution. So the simulator tool from Yale enables us to look at today's environment and also the future on where we think it could be going for that particular industry.
So the simulator itself is a bespoke piece of software. So sitting around that, we'll use computer-aided design programs to maybe provide a layout, or at least to allow us to draw what's in the real world. We'll use spreadsheet calculation to provide some either upfront analysis or to allow us to cut and mix up the results and allow us to present and analyse those as well.
If a company is expanding or in growth or perhaps new construction, with those type of scenarios, taking a traditional scenario of what was there in the past may not be the best way going forward.
We look in detail about their layout, so we might be trying to decide for them, how high do they need to go, where do they need to put their racking, is the configuration of their racking right for V&A or reach truck.
But the basic mathematics behind it depends on the scenario that we're looking at and the type of function. So you've got uniformal distribution, standard deviation, Poisson's ratios, all the different type of mathematics that you would see statistically. Those are all enabled inside the tool that reflect real life situation.
So there's a lot of script code going on. We've got a handy interface that allows us to build a model a little bit quicker. So that has building blocks like bits of racking, like trucks, like dispatch lists and trailer arrival and departures. And we can put those together to create a simulation model based on what we see in the real world.
And the software then, what we're looking for is how do they interact with one another? How does that have a knock-on effect to congestion and other areas where we need to be a little bit more due diligent?
From the simulator, there's two main outputs. The first is the truck fleet, and the second is how the various parts of the warehouse performed. So with the truck fleet, we'll have a pie chart that shows us as a percentage of time over the simulation run what that truck's been doing. From that we can infer clock and contracted hours, which then moves straight into maintenance rates and so on, which will show us exactly the number of trucks that we'll need to put in there. On the other side, we can look at how many pallets were flowing through the staging areas, through the racks, how congested were the staging lanes, how long did a trailer sit at the door.
How many lorries, how many dock levelers, all this sort of thing can be calculated through the software to optimize the flow and the productivity of the equipment.